watch Afghannews with Mohsen Jamal. The U.S. Senate unanimously confirmed Ryan Crocker as the new ambassador to Kabul on Thursday, sending a veteran diplomat with vast experience in the world's hot spots to strive to Afghanistan. Lawmakers approved Crocker's nomination by unanimous consent 1 week after President Barack Obama laid out the planned path of the U.S. to draw down for Afghanistan. Crocker will have to coordinate the transition of Washington's mission as it moves from being a military partner with Kabul to providing civilian aid, something which promises to be a difficult task. Crocker, a fluent Arabic speaker, has served as ambassador to Syria, Lebanon and Kuwait, as well as to Pakistan, and more recently was the U.S. envoy to Iraq, helping to forge a semblance of peace among its warring groups. The U.S. Senate voted overwhelmingly Thursday to confirm General David Petraeus to be the nation's CIA director, arguably America's most famous military commander in a generation. Petraeus has been in charge of U.S.-led international forces in Afghanistan since June 2010. The West Point graduated 37-year Army veteran is also credited with turning around the war in Iraq and well retired from the Army as a 4-star general. Petraeus said he will leave behind his military brain trust of his staff he has taken with him for the Iraq and Afghan campaigns, hoping by doing so he would ease CIA fears that he would try to turn the agency's unique culture into a military operation. Petraeus replaces Leon Panetta, who will become the next Pentagon chief on Friday. The U.S.-led military coalition Thursday blamed a notorious Pakistan-based terrorist group for this week's spectacular assault on a hilltop Kabul hotel and said it had killed one of the group's senior commanders who was suspected of involvement in the attack. The International Security Assistance Force didn't say how it had determined that the Haqqani network was responsible for the siege Tuesday night at the Kabul Intercontinental Hotel, which left 10 civilians, 2 policemen and all 9 assailants dead. But it said a senior Haqqani commander, Ismail Khan, was suspected of providing material support for the assault and that he and several other Haqqani fighters had been killed Wednesday in a precision airstrike only hours after Afghan police had retaken control of the hotel. Meanwhile, Afghan officials announced Thursday that they would assume security responsibilities in 7 provinces and cities, including Kabul, beginning July 14th. 20 Afghan civilians, including women and children, were killed in a volatile southwestern province Thursday when a landmine exploded under a bus they were traveling in, police said. Senior police figure Haji Musa Rasuli said that an IED struck a bus. 20 civilians were killed while accusing the Taliban of being responsible for the blast. The Islamist militants were not immediately available for comment. The blast occurred in the remote Nimroz province at around 4 p.m. local time in the region's Khashro district on the main highway to Kandahar. The incident came on the same day as a father, a mother and their 4 children were killed in southern Lashkargah, the main town in Helmand province, when a roadside bomb ripped through their car, provincial spokesman Dawood Ahmadi said. Russia has criticized France for air-dropping weapons in Libya's rebel-held area, saying it violated a United Nations resolution. Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, on Thursday said that France has committed a crude violation of a UN weapons embargo, adding that his ministry had asked France for further details. Russia and China have both questioned whether or not this supplying of weapons breached the terms of the United Nations Security Council resolution that authorizes international action in Libya. Hong Lei, China's foreign ministry spokesman, said that nations should not overstep the remit of the UN resolutions. But Mark Turner, a U.S. State Department spokesman, told reporters in Washington that the United States would respectfully disagree with the Russian assessment in a move that threatens to become a new diplomatic dispute over the Western air war. France confirmed on Wednesday that it had airdropped arms to rebels in Libya's western mountains, becoming the first NATO country to openly acknowledge arming the rebels against Muammar Gaddafi's 41-year rule. Greece's ruling Socialist Party has passed a second austerity bill needed to implement an austerity package to secure more funds from the European Union and the International Monetary Fund. The votes saw 155 members of parliament voting in favor of the bill, 136 voting against and 5 abstentions, and later George Papandreou, the Greek Prime Minister, said his country has won a difficult battle. Politicians voted on Thursday on the second of two austerity bills that are key to receiving funding after endorsing an initial law on Wednesday to slash $40 billion of the national debt. The government of Prime Minister Papandreou won the first vote by 155 to 138 votes on Wednesday, but the package of taxes, spending cuts and privatizations has angered many Greeks, with thousands taking to the streets and police clashing overnight with protesters ahead of Thursday's vote. The United States will resume limited contacts with Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood. Hillary Clinton, the U.S. Secretary of State, has said Clinton's announcement on Thursday reflects the Egyptian group's growing political weight after a popular uprising toppled President Hosni Mubarak in February. The Muslim Brotherhood, which has been banned by the Egyptian government for decades, has seen a boost in public support since Mubarak's ouster. While Clinton sought to portray the Obama administration's decision as a mere continuation of an earlier policy, it reflects a significant shift in that U.S. officials will not be able to deal directly with Brotherhood officials who are not members of parliament. U.S. diplomats previously dealt only with parliamentary members of the Egyptian group, a policy that had been in place since 2006. The sexual assault case against Dominic Strauss-Kahn, the former chief of the International Monetary Fund, is near collapse, U.S. media reports say. Quoting well-placed law enforcement officials, the New York Times said prosecutors had met Strauss-Kahn's lawyers on Thursday, and the parties were discussing whether to dismiss the felony charges against him. Although forensic evidence showed there had been a sexual encounter between Strauss-Kahn and his accuser, a hotel mate, the latter had repeatedly lied and prosecutors did not believe much of she had said. Sources told the New York Times that the prosecutors had discovered issues involving the silent application of the hotel mate, a 32-year-old Guinean woman, and possible links to criminal activities, including drug dealing and money laundering. Strauss-Kahn, 62, was arrested on May 14th in New York on charges of sexual assault. In that, Hugo Chavez, the Venezuelan president, has admitted in a television address that he had a tumor that had undergone a successful operation in Cuba to extract the cancerous cells and was on the road to full recovery. The 56-year-old made his first televised speech to the nation on Thursday, weeks after he underwent surgery in Havana, sparking widespread speculation he might be seriously ill. Chavez said the medical process was slow and careful and added that he was determined to overcome the health battle. His speech was broadcast from Cuba, where Chavez has been for the last 3 weeks recovering from what the Venezuelan government has said is an abscess in the pelvis. And that is all for now. Thanks for staying with us.